Today we have the Samsung washing machine, 15 kilograms. I'll put a thumbnail of what it looks like on the front. Model number WA15J5730SS. The issue is it's not draining, so all the rest of it is working, it's not draining. It can switch on and it thinks it's draining, but it's not. So on the machine's right hand side, on the side where the drain pipe comes out, there's a little closure here that you can open up. Now obviously do this only after you've drained the machine of water, so just use a bucket and take out all the water on the inside. This is the little pump. So on mine, when I set it to drain and I put my screwdriver in there and I spin that little rotor there, it actually started draining. And did it once or twice, it never starts on its own. So that concluded that the motor is burnt out, or motor is broken. So on the back here there's a panel. It only fastens with 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and you just bend it a little bit. I'll show you when I put it back in. And then you can take the panel off. Then you've got access to the pump on the inside. This whole thing can move, so you can make yourself space on the inside. Now you obviously remove the drain pipe on the outside, and then there's 2 pipes here that you need to take out. The small one coming from the top and the larger one going on the side. And not only for that, but then here where we remove the cap to get to the rotor, there are 2 screws. Remove those 2 screws, and then you need to lift the machine up, and at the bottom there's also 2 screws holding this whole mechanism in place. So I'm going to take these 2 off, I'm going to take the bottom 2 off, and then I'm also going to take these pipes off, which you can actually see I've already started doing, and the clamps are already loose. And then this whole unit just comes out. Remember to disconnect the wires. They just connect to those wires. I don't know why that one plug looks so ugly with that insulation tape. I can't remember. It was myself. I think we got the machine like that. But anyway, so I'm going to take that out, and then we are going to see what part we can buy new. Okay, with the whole pump unit removed, this actual pump part fastens towards this fitting with 3 screws. So 1 screw is in there, the other one over here, and the last one here at the bottom. Then they can come completely apart, pushes apart, and you can buy a brand new unit. Now the new unit does not come with wires, so we're going to have to see how these wires fastened on the inside. Hopefully they are also on lugs. So I'm going to open this up. It seems like it just clips on. There's no screws there, so this just clips off this cover to get to whatever is inside there. So opening up this cover was quite easy. We can see the wires are connected with lugs over there, so no need to desolder something or cut the wires. You can just take this off, and we're just going to use these lugs to put it onto the new unit. And it does not matter which side is which. This is an AC motor, so it's just got a live and neutral. It does not matter which one is which side. There you go, clipped on. And now we can just put it back. You must just remember how you took it off. This one was like that, and then this unit came like that. So I'm just going to push these little tabs that pushes into any of these square holes, and you must just make sure before you push it in that one of your through holes on this unit actually lines up with a hole on here to put a screw in. So I'm just going to assemble this again, and then we'll put it back. Okay, it's quite a tight fit getting this new unit in this old bracket because of this new O-ring. So I cleaned up this track where the O-ring is going to fit in. Quite nice, and I scraped off a little bit of the grime and so on with the screwdriver, and I cleaned it with a cloth. And what I also did was I lubricated this O-ring with a bit of Vaseline, and that will give it a much longer life as well, and it will make it a lot easier to slide it into where it should go. So here's our assembled unit. I took these wires off while tightening the screws so they can push down hard to get the O-ring in, to get the screws in. You don't want to use the screws to pull the O-ring in, to pull this unit towards this unit, because these screws only screw into the plastic on this bottom, I don't know what you call this, fitting or whatever, and it's just self-tapping, so it's very easy to strip it out. There is another one you can use if you strip one out, but I would rather, what I did was I put on this side, I push it down so it's flush on the side, then I fastened the screw in, and then I put this unit like this and pushed hard on the top to seat the O-ring before I put these screws in. This whole unit was seated before the screws was put in. But anyways, so now you just bring it down again and you fit it in here. That hole goes through there, and we can move this whole unit so you can see what's going on here. So the bottom tab must go in over the front, and then it clips in like this. You see, it stays there almost by itself. Now I can fasten these two screws, and then I can fasten the two at the bottom again. One thing I noticed was that the screws at the bottom look to me to be a little bit shorter than the ones, I don't know if I'm, yeah, and their heads are also a little bit smaller. Now let's see. So these are all the screws that came out with this panel and also on the unit itself. So there's 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 of them, 6 of them has got the small heads and 2 of them has got the large heads. So these are the 2 large heads, were the ones that came at the bottom, and then all these are the ones that fit that go on the side of the unit, and also closing this panel. So let's just take 2 of these ones, so the smaller heads, and then we can put it in there, and then the bigger heads we're going to use at the bottom. Okay, so the whole unit is in now. We've got the pipes back in place. Remember to put the clamps on. We've got the cable clip there. Just make sure that the cable runs through all the cable restraints so it doesn't touch any of the moving parts or this drum that moves like this while it's working. My cables is clipped in at the bottom. I've got my 2 screws at the bottom fastened. I've got the 2 screws over there fastened. So now we've got power here. Let's test it out. See at the bottom here, you can see it's spinning there, so it's working 100%. When we started this, that was not spinning at all. We had to start it to spin. Okay, now you're done. Now you can just put that bracket back in, or that closure back in there. Now there's a certain way it must come in. Oh yeah, there it is. It can only go in one way. So you can see on there, there's a little indentation where this side must come in. So you put it in there, tighten it, and then you're just going to put your drainage pipe on there, and you must remember to put this panel back. So let's just do that. Okay, this panel, it's got smaller tabs on the bottom and larger ones on top. Oh no, this is upside down. Yeah, it's upside down. So these smaller ones are on the top, those ones on the bottom. So you just push the bottom tabs in, and then you're just basically going to bend the plate and push it in there and line it all up. Obviously going to be a lot easier with two hands. And then the screws and the two holes line up with each other. So we can just put the last 4 screws back in there and tighten them all. And then we can test and see if it drains the water actually. Okay, I've got some water in here. Not much. It doesn't really matter. So let's put it on drain. Okay, there you go. Okay, thanks for watching.